Hey, folks, it's Friday. Welcome back to the Exponential Files. Each week, we bring you a fantastic guest who really understands a bit more about the field and what they're doing, where it's going. That's Jim down there, and I'm Larry up here. This is the Exponential Files. But Carrie, thank you for joining us, Carrie. You are the CEO or the president of Zoocasa?
So, CEO of Zoocasa, yes.
CEO. That whole and also you're a woman in technology at the highest levels. What's that like?
Yeah, yeah. So I come to the real estate industry by a little bit of a left turn. My background really is in product and technology and marketing as kind of the root, and worked for many years at a company called the Weather Network, which is very similar to the Weather Channel. In fact, we were partnered with them for many years, but 24-hour weather service, offering coast to coast in Canada, and really built out their digital platform strategy and their digital business over many years, over 14 years, and then moved on to really a company called Vertical Scope, which many people don't recognize that brand name, but they own over 1,600 websites, motorcycle.com, autoguide.com, many kind of consumer-facing community type websites. And I led the platform technology and growth over there for a number of years, and then moved over into the industry of real estate. And so I was brought on initially as the COO at Zoocasa, really heading up product technology and marketing, and really kind of replatforming our website, building out new mobile apps, and really kind of continuing to rebrand and build out Zoocasa as one of the number one portals in Canada to get real estate information.
So, Carrie, let's talk about the history of Zoocasa and how it got to have a name like Zoocasa, what the platform is like, who built the platform, is it your technology? Just fill us all in.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll probably circle back to kind of leadership and overall, kind of women in leadership and leadership at EXP as well. But I'm certainly passionate about our product and our platform, and so happy to talk about a little bit of the history and where we got to and how we got to become part of the EXP family. So originally we were started, the brand Zoocasa was started by Rogers Communications. It's a telco here in Canada. And they kind of built out an MLS portal, but really kind of didn't really know what to do with it. This was many years ago. So kind of left it on they paid a bunch of advertising money, kind of build out the awareness of the brand, but didn't, again, they didn't have agents. They really built it as a kind of trying to verticalize cable subscriptions, so really wasn't delivering a lot of value for them. And so in 2015 there was an opportunity to buy it off the shelf, and so that was led by Lauren Ha, who is our broker of record and industry relations officer. She has just stepped down as CEO, and I've recently replaced her, but both herself and a couple of investors who really worked a lot in the mortgage space originally. Lauren is also obviously a licensed agent and broker, purchased the brand. And at that time—
Can we talk about what it was purchased for what amount?
I cannot disclose that information, but I will say it was a bit of a fire sale. So like I said, Rogers kind of didn't quite know what to do with it at the time. And so it was just a really great opportunity for those who had a vision of really how do we own some of that real estate journey, kind of, we like to say, first click to moving day. So, right. The majority of real estate journeys start online. So how do we build out a portal that really delivers on kind of that customer need for data and for information, and then build a real lead gen portal, sure. So that we can kind of feed the data to the individuals online, and then in the background we can actually get to know them a little bit better and match them up with really local agent expertise.
I love the term first click to moving day. That's great. Yeah.
TM.
And the name?
And the name. So the name actually did come from Rogers originally, a little play on words, tongue in cheek for me casa Zoocasa. So instead of Sue, it's Zoo. So a little bit more fun to say. Certainly from a branding opportunity, it's more fun. And if you're familiar with the brand, you'll know the 00 or double O's is we have it as some little binoculars because we're our tagline is find your home with us, and so we're we hope to be that one-stop shop where we can give all the information to individuals, interested buyers and sellers looking to find their next forever home. So yeah, that's where the brand started from. It's been rebranded several times, but it's we love its current iteration. It was certainly one of the selling points when we joined EXP. They trademarked and brand and made sure that we have license to use it in all EXP markets. And so, yeah, we're really excited to continue. Zoocasa.com has great authority with Google as a real estate expertise. And so, yeah, we're continuing with the zoo.
So you're in Canada, you're moving into the US?
We are. So we've already started to move into the US. So parts of our business, we have kind of three parts to the business. One is the portal, our own portal under zoocasa.com, as well as we have an Android and iOS app under the Zoocasa brand. We have our mid-funnel kind of lead engine qualification group. So our inside sales team, they are currently working with both leads from Zoocasa as well as other partners, including exprealty.com. So we are qualifying and speaking with potential clients in the US and working with EXP Realty agents in the US as well as Canada. And then we have our Zoocasa team. So many of you at EXP will be familiar with the team structure. We have a team of agents, coaches, and sales leadership that really deliver a high accountability, high touch training opportunity for agents who are generally newer in their careers, kind of the 6 to 24 months, maybe a little bit longer in their careers, but they're looking for kind of lead flow, pipeline management, again, that accountability, regular one-on-one coaching. So that's another piece of our business. So those three things together kind of make up Zoocasa at EXP.
I'm curious to come back to women leadership just for a moment. How is women right now? There's 30% more women in leadership positions than they were like last year. So that's a significant jump that women are stepping up. You've been at the top. What's it like to go into a room where you may be the only woman and how is that shaping how real estate is going to go on the next couple of years?
Yeah. So I'm not sure where that 30% stat came from. I can tell you from a C-suite perspective, women have only about 4% of those seats. And a lot of them are largely in the CFO role. So very few female CEOs or COOs. I mean, kind of cutting my teeth.
I'm sorry. I will because you did ask me.
Yeah.
That was in politics. And I wasn't speaking at sea level, which you're absolutely right. There's far fewer of those.
Yeah.
But I was talking overall because you start somewhere and you kind of grow from there.
Yeah. So I mean, for myself, certainly cutting my teeth in technology, starting over 20 years ago, definitely there's been, I would say for the majority of my career, oftentimes being the only woman in the room. I think though, I always looked at it as a benefit, in a way to bring a different perspective to the conversation. I always think that, I can represent a lot of empathy, especially to, maybe to the female gender or those I identify as female, in terms of the customer, those maybe who are working moms, which I am. And, and I just think there's just brings a broader perspective to every conversation. I think greater diversity at the table always brings a broader perspective,
Right.
and so I think that's part of why it's so critical. You
Right.
know, that we continue to work towards having more diverse leadership and more diverse voices in the room.
Well, real estate these days is all about technology. How is Zoocasa changing or zeroing in on what it does for within the real estate business?
Yeah. I just think it's such an exciting time to be in real estate, honestly. And I think, some folks, maybe who have had a much longer career, some might be intimidated by some of the change, because change is hard. It's hard for everyone.
Right.
But I always look at it as a very human powered industry, but technology enabled. So
Right.
that's really the way that we try and think about it. How do we use technology? I mean, at the end of the day, especially as we've talked a little bit about the Canadian market and some of the urban centers, which are not dissimilar to some of the bigger cities in the U.S. in terms of affordability. Like
Right.
these are arguably the largest financial decisions that people are going to make in their lifetime, and a lot of them do not want to just leave that up to automation, or they don't want to just leave that up to to their own wits about them. They want the expertise, and so that's where I find that the agents can bring so much value to the experience, and their empathy and knowledge and local expertise.
Mhm.
And then how do we build tools for the agents as well as for the end user, that actually bridges that connection? So, there is more access, knowledge is power. How do we get more data into the hands of people, and how do they use that information? And then how do we build in, how do we use technology just to better serve our clients?
Right.
And so I think, like I said, sometimes I think people can be, maybe intimidated a little bit by the change that technology it continues to bring about. But I look at it really as an opportunity.
Sure.
It was only in 2007 where we got these phones in our hands, and think of how enormously they have changed,
Right.
just the way we do everything, the way we
Right.
communicate, the way we shop, the way we bank, the way we travel.
Right.
We really can't imagine life without them.
Right.
And
Right.
and
The way we communicate, of course.
totally.
So you have this company. Is it a tech company? Is it a real estate company? Is it something of a blended company? Do you build your own software, or is it off the shelf and
Yeah,
then
we do.
customized?
Yeah, so we do believe at the heart we are a real estate tech company. So I mean, obviously we work really closely with agents, and we do have a team of agents, and part of that is know your customer, right? It's
Right.
we want to make sure that we're building technology that, again, not only works for interested buyers and sellers, but also works for the agents that might
Right.
be using our technology as well. So it's hugely valuable to have, to work and have them as part of our ecosystem. But really, we do have our own development team of software engineers. We have our own team of marketing professionals and designers and product folks. So we really do build the majority of our software.
Yeah. That it's that way you can own the software and you can
We absolutely, yeah, it's
and upgrade it. And
proprietary to us,
Yeah.
and
So,
proprietary to EXP.
sure.
so when EXP bought the company, they were buying more of a real estate tech company than they were a brokerage.
Absolutely. I mean, EXP doesn't, I don't think they have ever purchased a brokerage before us. And really the brokerage, like I said, it wasn't as much the agents per se. It was, our coaching workflows, some of our, we call it like our training curriculums that we have built, the high accountability and the way that we have trained agents to handle online lead flow. And then the way that, kind of obviously front end funnel where we're bringing in online leads, but that mid funnel kind of lead qualification to agent assignment and opportunity. we just have an industry leading conversion rate. And so that was really also attractive to EXP to say, how do we bring some of that knowledge in-house? And then how do we continue to grow this alternative portal that has listing information, that has an automated valuation model, that has all this market insights? How do we build this and expand it not only coast to coast in Canada, but how do we move that into serving the US as well, and our a large pool of EXP agents in the US?
So,
So do you think EXP, I'm sorry, you go, Larry.
So a starting agent right now, if you're within your first year or so, you
Yeah.
could go to Zoocasa and understand you'd be given leads, but you'd be helped in understanding what to do with those leads and how to convert them from after you deliver the leads.
That is correct. Yeah. And I think, it's a lot of times we get a lot of interest from maybe solo agents that are joining
Right.
EXP that don't really have maybe a connection to a mentor or another team, or those that are really, maybe in certain locations or regions where the pool of agents maybe isn't as large that they can draw
Yeah.
upon. Again, those newer in their career. So yeah, and again, like our goal is to not just build a huge team. Our goal is to build a really effective team that will eventually graduate from us. So, we
Mhm.
really want to continue to build, kind of really great real estate agents at EXP. All of our
Sure.
team agents are licensed at EXP. We only qualify leads for EXP agents, whether they're on our team or whether they're partners, whether they're in Canada or whether they're in the US. We
Yeah.
don't sell leads to any other brokerages.
Yeah.
So you sell them or you get paid at the closing a percentage? Can we talk about the whole
Sure.
program?
Yeah, so it is a paid at percentage close. So and it does depend on the type of lead that we might be qualifying, and so it could vary a little bit, whether it's a seller lead or a buyer lead, and whether or not it's from a EXP owned property. In which case we've got a varying, kind of in many cases lower rate in terms of a referral fee, or whether we may be working with a third party. So many of the folks who might be listening and yourself know Leo Perea, who joined EXP in the spring of last year,
Mhm.
our chief strategy officer. So we work very closely with Leo. And one of the goals is to continue to bring in additional partners into EXP that serve the EXP realty agents. So, whether it's additional lead flow, the realty.com announcement, marketing opportunities that was announced in January. We're working with a company called iBuyer, which is very similar to Express Offers. We've got people who are looking for cash offers. Right now, those leads are being qualified and assigned through the Zoocasa team. So that's part of the way that we're already working with US agents. And then we're building out the Zoocasa.com platform itself with additional MLS feeds in the US. So that's,
This
look
is
for
great.
news about that later on
It's
this year,
great.
but that's
Yeah.
that's in the works as well.
So how does an EXP agent in
Wow.
the US get these leads? Is there an application somewhere
So
online?
yeah, so most of the US agents are Express Offer certified.
Sure.
So Dawn Conciatori, who is also in working closely with Leo, she runs a great certification program for REO, Affinity, and Express Offer certification. And it's free for any EXP Realty agent to attend. I know at Shareholders, they're hosting an in-person certification, which is a great way to kind of get that certification completed if you're going to be at Shareholders anyway. A couple hours and you're good to go. And
Is that Express Offers that you're talking about?
Yeah, Express Offer certification.
Okay, because I'm part of that already. So that would mean if a lead came in, perhaps from my zip code, it would come to me, and there's nothing I have to do. It would just come to
Yeah,
me by luck, I guess.
yeah. And we've, depending on the regions that you're serving and where the leads are coming in, you would definitely be on the roster.
Uh, so did EXP get a good deal when they bought Zoocasa? Is this something that made a lot of sense?
I think it did, and I mean, obviously, I'm going to say that, but I think I really do think it does. And you know, part of what I've been, you know, I would say a couple things. So, when we first started the partnership and acquisition discussions, we kind of identified about 6 or 7 areas where we knew that there was kind of immediate opportunity. I would say 5 of those 7 we've already started actioning within less than a year. So 3 quarters. We were acquired in July 2022. So, you know, we've got about 3 quarters with EXP under our belt. And so, you know, that just, I think, shows how in sync and aligned the opportunity was and is and continues to be. I think there's other pieces that are really surprising to us. Like you know, things that we really didn't know at first until you're here at EXP. And part of that is, you know, getting to know the agents and,
Right.
you know, and the opportunities for knowledge sharing at some of these events. That are just phenomenal. I had never been to an EXP event before joining the organization, and so, you know, shareholders in 2022 was the first one I experienced. And I didn't think anything could get bigger than that. And then I went to Las Vegas in the fall, and I was like, "This is even crazier." So I think, you know, for us, just the values alignment around, you know, kind of how to deliver great client experience, how to be extremely passionate about what you do. You know, I've never been anywhere that I think has more passion than this organization. And the stories that you
Yeah.
hear from the agents and, you know, some of the adversity that folks have, you know, have been through and come out the other side and are just so successful. It's just absolutely inspiring. And I think that was the part that we didn't expect and is just so wonderful to be a part of.
So if you're out there and you have a wonderful
Do you
story to
know who
tell,
approached who?
give us a call. We'll put you on the show.
Yeah, here's the call out. Yeah,
Yeah.
anything I can do to help.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Carrie, do you know who approached who to make that deal? Like, was was it listed in MLS that Zoocasa was for sale,
Yeah,
and Glenn saw the listing on EXPRealty.com
yeah,
and said,
yeah.
"Hey, I'll buy this." How did that come about? Do you know?
Yeah, so when you are selling a tech company, it's a little bit different than when you're selling a house. I will be honest. The process is a little bit different. But I will say that, you know, we had an opportunity to meet with a large number of potential partners. And there was no company that even came close to, again, the alignment, the opportunity for growth,
Right.
and you know, just how well from even a values and a passion perspective that we were aligned
Yeah.
between Zoocasa and EXP. So honestly, the decision was really easy.
Yeah. It seems to me that EXP is going to out Zillow in all the vertical integration and the relationships they have.
What was that a big part of Zoocasa's website? The valuation
Yeah.
uh, portion,
Yeah, I mean, the
Carrie?
platform for sure.
Yeah.
The platform for sure played a big part. Absolutely. Again, EXP doesn't buy brokerages, to my knowledge,
Right.
and I don't believe that they have. Really, the platform and some of the, you know, some of the lead scoring and inside sales work that we do. Again, the high accountability coaching, which just also kind of melds quite so well with, you know, some of the pieces that EXP is doing with EXP University, with success, with, you know, just that you know, how do you set agents up for success and have them grow their business? I think that's what's so passionate and exciting, when you hear from these agents who, you know, maybe newer to the industry and just how they've been able to 10x their lives, not just, you know, their real estate career. And
Right.
actually, I mean, that's part of the thing I find is so inspiring when you're going to these events
Yeah.
is you get to hear these personal
How how
stories.
how how does your system compare against the KV Core website and CRM? And are your agents actually using KV Core in addition to your platform?
So we, we try and actually separate out the portal from any CRM. So the CRM to us, we can integrate with multiple, or the portal itself, sorry, we can integrate to multiple CRMs, and we understand that agents have a preference. And so whether it be KV Core, whether it be Boomtown, whether it be Follow Up Boss, there could be a number of CRMs that that agents decide to use, whether it's based on functionality, experience, their local market. We really look at the portal is about lead generation and delivering information to interested buyers and sellers to help them find a home. Then on the back end, we make the connection and agent opportunities, and we'll connect with agents however they want to receive the lead. So whether it's straight into KV Core accounts, whether it's into another CRM, whether it's via phone or email, depending on, I would say, putting something right into your calendar, your Google Calendar is going to be the fastest way, but we don't discriminate. We will work with whatever tools that agents want to work with.
It sounds awesome. It sounds really interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing what growth you'll have within the next year.
Yeah, like I said, it's such an amazing opportunity to be also to have access to agents in so many nooks and crannies of North America, right?
Yeah.
As one of it was, absolutely part of the equation was the fact that the agent population at EXP is so large. Pretty much you can get leads from anywhere, and there's going to be an agent kind of in that region, which is fantastic. And
Sure.
Not only a great opportunity for agents, but great opportunity when you're building out a lead gen platform and
Sure.
growing that to service more potential clients in more areas.
Sure.
So I have at least one more question. So you have an app,
Yes.
and that's the Zoocasa app. Is there any way that maybe there's some integration with EXP Realty or expluxury.com to create an app with your technology? Has there been talks about that?
I mean, I think mobile apps is a phenomenal opportunity, and I'll start there. We have an Android app, we have an iOS app. We get a tremendous amount of engagement. My history in managing iOS and Android apps for weather, for example, on average, if you've got a native app, you've got somebody going to your platform at least, 21 times a month, versus, 1 or 2 or 3 times on a website. And, over 80% of what happens on a phone is in an app environment. So, just the reality is, over 65 to 70% of all online activity is on a mobile. I just think that's a huge opportunity to be in the app environment.
Right. Okay, so there's no conversation yet. Maybe I just made a great suggestion. Someone should
let's just say
give Carrie a call.
Let's just say there's lots of conversation and potential projects in the work, but I don't want to steal anybody's announcement thunders.
Because that was the final question. What secret announcements can you tell us now?
Oh, well, they wouldn't be secrets if I told you.
Well, that's why, exactly. But that's why you're on the show.
But I would say,
make headlines.
Things that are I think that are really exciting to all groups at EXP, and certainly are exciting to us, again, is mobile and continually improving that experience on a mobile device, whether it be on web or whether it be in a native app environment. And the other one is AI, and how do we leverage AI in a way that helps agents, whether it's building tools for agents, whether it's helping them on some of their workflows. How do we build in AI into some of our platforms, again, for that lead flow? And how do we, offer up information to potential clients in a really meaningful way, but leveraging some of these, whether it be ChatGPT or some other AI tools. And then how do we use AI in some of our workflows?
Sure.
There's tremendous opportunity to just actually streamline some workflows internally by using some of these AI tools. So I would say those are the two things that I certainly get really excited about in terms of our continued evolution and innovation, is in those two areas.
Carrie, it's been absolutely awesome to have you on on the show and to talk about all of these things. How can people get in touch with you? I know Zoocasa, and because I made the mistake, it's one S, Zoocasa, CASA, like the house.
Yeah.
How would people be in touch with you, Carrie?
I'm on Workplace. So if you're an agent on Workplace, you can find me, Carrie Lysenko, Lysenko, on Workplace. Also Zoocasa.com, info@zoocasa.com is another one. If you're looking for any information, we publish 8 to 10 articles a week, which are real estate articles, data. A lot of it's data-driven journalism. We're quoted often in the media. So marketing at Zoocasa.com as well, if you're looking for any of our latest publications, but you can also go to our website at Zoocasa.com.
There we go.
Thank
Lots
you
of
so
places.
much.
It's
This is
been
great, Carrie. You answered all my questions.
That was my goal. That was my goal.
Thanks, Carrie. And
it's been a pleasure to meet you both. It's been great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the invite.
We're at the Exponential Files. You can find us everywhere.